Kalyn
I
Wright.
think Lippert is priceless and Stuber.
Yes, sir.
Give him a lift.
Okay. $100? $100?
A year.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you like to do on vacation?
Well, you expect me to say camp. Now, I do have, I'm scared to tell you guys because I made this mistake. I went motorcycle riding today. I was so excited about that. Jerry McCarthy looked petrified, and he had bikes flanking me with their emergency lights on. And I had mercy on him. I didn't go the full 6 hours, I went for maybe an hour, hour and a half. And it was just a blast. We were trying to make up names, the Grand Design Wild Hogs, for those of you that have seen that movie. But Jerry, how many bikes did we have?
We had 50 bikes today.
50 bikes. And I'm telling you, I was nervous because I don't ride that much. But you know, there's something called staggering, position. My guy in front of me kept moving to the other side, so I had to keep moving to the other side. I think he was messing with me the whole time. But I do like to ride bikes. I don't tell my wife that or my kids because they hate it. They just hate it. And that's enjoyment. We live on a lake, so we do like lake sports. My kids surf, without the rope, they're doing all that kind of stuff. I can't do that, but I can get up. So we love that, and we love just family time. I've got a 27-year-old daughter that lives in Vegas. She's a fifth grade teacher. Unbelievable girl. I've got another daughter that is 21, just turned 21, and she's a junior at Belmont University in Nashville. So it's awesome family. Okay, I have a son who's over there too. Austin, where are you? Where? That's Austin. So Austin is almost 23. He'll turn 23 this month. And do you mind if I tell you a quick story about Austin? All right, great tour guide. Yeah, he's really he's really sharp. But Austin's going to college, and he graduated from Butler University. And regardless of what he does, believe me, because this is true. And he didn't mean anything by it, but he said, Dad, you never talk about work at home. And I don't. I talk about home stuff at home. And he goes, but I've interned, don't be mad at him, but I've interned at LCI, Lippert Components, for 3 years during the summer. Now I just finished, what was it, 2 or 3 years at Grand Design? 3 years at Grand Design. And he goes, I've learned something. You don't talk about work at home, but I've learned that you're kind of a big deal in your space. Now, he wasn't really being mean, but in your space. And then he goes, but I don't think I'm going to do the RV thing. I said, buddy, it's okay. It's not for everybody. Whatever you do, have passion for it. Whatever you do, be the best you possibly can be. And enjoy it. Love it. But I got to ask, why? Why wouldn't you want to do the RV thing? I don't know, Dad. I want to do something more meaningful with my life. Austin, true or not?
I don't know if those are the exact words.
So, I was thrilled when he interned that last year and he started getting interested and started enjoying meeting customers and seeing how much our product actually means to people and how much enjoyment they get from the product and how it enhances their lifestyle. And he quietly then interned, because you've got an intern at Butler, you've got an intern at a Indianapolis business. He interned at an RV dealership, and I'm thinking, okay. And then he interviewed with our general managers without me really knowing. And I'm thinking, hey, okay, he's finding a little bit more meaning in what we do, and I'm happy to have him do my laundry every week. But so lake stuff, family stuff. I love cornhole. I will not be beat in cornhole. Love that. They're grand design for words. I know how they play it. I just like family stuff. I'm number 8 of a family of 9. My dad was 60 years old when I was born. He was 64 when Ray was born. No, they weren't. They weren't Catholic. They just didn't have cable. Too much information? Yes. What kind of motorcycle do I ride? I ride a Road King Classic 2006. And I look good in leather. All right, he's retired from Harley, and he wants me to buy a new one, so his retirement check will keep coming. Actually, I hear they're safer too, breaking and stuff like that. So Austin, I probably need to buy a new one.
Yesterday, I had the opportunity to have a long conversation with a couple of gentlemen doing research on behalf of Grand Design. And they asked me what I thought the coach 10 years from now will look like. I'm curious, what do you think the coaches will look like 10 years from now?
Great question. I think there's going to be a lot more electric and less generators. In California already, they're phasing them away. So I think EV units are not only going to be there for motorized, I think they're going to be there for tolls as well. And I do think new materials and composites are coming on the scene that make coaches lighter weight and maybe a little bit more sturdy. Some of those are in existence today, but it's rocket science and it's very, very expensive and it's unaffordable. But I think as time goes on, they'll become more and more prevalent. And so we'll see, I think, a difference in the way we construct the product and just a lot more lithium batteries and new power sources. Yeah. Yes, sir. Like a
original question was manufacturer maintenance as opposed to what the dealer tells you. So in the seminars today and yesterday, they said that you're not supposed to put a UV protection on top of your roof because Grand Designs already thought of that and puts on the roof that is UV protected. So, but then the dealership sells you stuff, says you have to put this stuff on there in order to sell you more products. So,
well, I think you answered your own question.
So, but we don't know that. We're just trying to deal with the dealer, and the dealer is telling us this when we first purchase it. Unfortunately, we're gullible.
Yeah, I would listen to your owner's manual, because we're the ones that put them together, and give them, we know the materials that we use. Let's face it, when you buy a car, every time you want to, hey, you need the extended warranty, you need this, you need UV protection on a car. It's profit centers for a dealer. Does it help? Maybe. But I think if you just follow the owner's guide. Jerry, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, there's, when you go in and buy a unit, there's a lot of things that obviously dealers are going to try to sell to you. We don't really endorse any of them. That doesn't mean they're not good products. I think a lot of people, especially trades get like a paint protection package that they buy, and that would help your fiberglass from yellowing and fading. The roof, you know, we've never really looked at it that close. You typically have a 10 to 13-year warranty on the roof membrane itself. That really is a question for Alpha Systems or Dicor. I don't think it negatively impacts your warranty with them on your roof membrane. Not that I'm aware of anyway. So really it comes down to your decision on what you think will offer you some peace of mind. So again, it's one of those areas where really you're the ultimate decision makers, and if you look at what the coverage provides and you feel it gives you adequate protection, then ultimately you'll make the decision for yourself.
Jerry, I think that people should be careful about the stuff that they're putting on the coat, because they avoid any manufacturer's warranty or damage.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. One of the things that we always encourage folks to do, you know, the owner bag that you get with your unit has a lot of information. It's critical that you go through that information. There's a lot of components that have a second-year warranty on it through the component manufacturer, and it requires you to fill out a card to send into them. Some are now website. We're trying to make that easier for you. But there are also pamphlets and books and things about each of the individual products that go into our units, and you need to read those to understand if they have anything that would affect your warranty. So pay really close attention to it. We try to follow it as close as we can. They make a lot of changes. So, but it's so important that you make sure that you're registered with all of those component manufacturers that have the second year, that you understand their warranty, what's excluded from the warranty, what voids the warranty. It's a lot of work, but it's well worth whatever effort you put into it.
Over here and then.
Hey Don, Jonathan, from Tullahoma, Tennessee. Imagine XLS owner, 17 MKE. So I'm curious if my partner in cornhole from Tennessee Rally is here. Keith, where you at? Keith? Where's he at?
Now you're not going to throw down the gauntlet here.
I'm going to go down the gauntlet. Keith and I were going to get a picture. There he is. Keith, you got your medal?
Oh my God, you got a medal?
So, yeah. Cornhole champions of the Tennessee Rally. I'm actually wearing the medal because we were going to get a picture tonight. Keith, if you're willing, Don, if you're willing, we'd like to challenge Don, find yourself a partner, and we'd like to challenge you to a cornhole match.
All right, grand design people. Or it can't be Linda. Grand design people, who's really, really, really good at it? Now think about it as if your job depended on it. I will grab a partner, and I will accept that challenge. Yes, sir.
I have a 21 337 with my wife, and one thing that we thought of is we feel as though a lot of the toy haulers have the same toy hauler setup. They have the garage, and they're very team focused, and they kind of just have the same layout. We would love to see something that was like 337 or 310 based at the front with just a 10 to 12 foot garage on the back. Any kind of thoughts on that being a possibility to where it has a little more of a livable front living area?
I agree. Lance. Lance is our product manager for Momentum. Rob.
Yeah, I'm not Lance. Much smaller. Have you guys seen the new 4-ton? Yeah? I mean, that's kind of more of a conventional floor plan with a garage. Big bedroom, big bathroom, 13 minutes. Yeah. Big cost.
I knew as soon as I went to the bathroom, I was going to get called on. What was the question?
Did you wash your hands?
Not just wash my hands.
All right, do you mind repeating?
What we were wondering is if you guys could see putting a more standard living front on a Momentum style trailer to where it was kind of like a 310 in the front with just a garage, because a lot of the toy haulers, I mean, you guys are the closest to a standard living front as opposed to a lot of the other brands, but they still kind of have that toy hauler feel. Is there any kind of thought of the pipeline of having something along that line?
How long a garage do you need?
Me personally, I'd like an 11 to 12 foot garage. So nothing huge, but something I know it's kind of hard to fit one size fits all, but
Yeah.
I have a side by side personally, and I need a minimum of 11 feet.
Lance?
I mean, it's a great question. And honestly, that's kind of what we're going with the 410.
Yeah.
I think you can probably see the similarities between the two, even though they're very flip-flopped. But you get the hutch, you get the big island, you get the pop-up TV. In addition to that, you get that very large bathroom with lots of floor space. And it's really uncommon, and I don't think it's ever been done before in a toy hauler with a 13.6 garage. So, yeah. I mean, we're looking to do
You know
that.
what would be cool is if you walk the unit with them, and do you mind giving suggestions? I mean, it's like people pay big money for that type of feedback. We pay nothing, but
True.
It's invaluable. If you guys would do that, we'd love it. We maybe walk that unit and just tweak it.
Sure.
You mind?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Be down over here. Hi. Over here.
Oh, okay.
I would like to know how many Grand Design rigs are actually out on the road right now.
Okay. It's over, Jerry, correct me if I'm wrong. I would have asked Stuber, but, Steve actually might know. It's over 200,000, isn't it?
Yeah, we're at 208,000.
Yeah, thank you. And honestly, that doesn't even resonate with us because, oh, I'm sorry, how many Grand Design units are out on the road? How many customers are out on the road? And the answer was over 200,000. Yeah, isn't that cool? And that number, I knew Jerry would know that number because that's how Jerry got me to approve this multi-million dollar, 300,000 square foot new service center. By the way, I was on the bike ride, and I'm sure it wasn't by accident. Jerry drove all the bikers past his new McCarthy Center. And I saw so many bikes weave because he's pointing to it as he's going by. Probably not a good move, Jerry.
Well, I didn't think you'd notice. It was happenstance. It wasn't planned that way.
That's an awesome center. But we have to have it in order to service not only the units we build, but the units we built, right? So, good question. Remind me to repeat the questions, too. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a question to add a little story first. First of all, we're on our second Grand Design in 3 years. You can imagine, kind of reflection, and really it's due to your service team, missing the team, technicians here, but it just, our daughter bought one recently, so very happy, excited. You got us for life. So I just want to bless guys for the team. What I want to say is, before I found out about Grand Design, we're boaters. We've gone back and forth between camping and boaters over the years. So we wanted to get a boat, and we got looking at pontoon boats. And we were in Michigan at an event, and I met this guy named Fennick. And he convinced me about the boat, and he was talking about what they do and striving for customer service, pre-delivery inspection. I said, this is fantastic. And they said that Bennington Q Series meet or exceed that. This is the most fabulous pontoon I've seen. We bought it. And we've had it. Fantastic. Now the question is, you can finish the story, but what, you like the water, do you Arletta pontoon?
Well, I own 25% of the company.
Do you? I didn't know that.
Not anymore. But yes. And I had to pay full retail. But yes, I have a Barletta pontoon boat, and it's awesome. It is, and again, I don't own it anymore, so I have nothing to gain by it, but it's a phenomenal product.
And we found out about that, bought it, and then I think it was 6 months later, we seen him at another show, and we said, you know, kind of get back into RVing. He says, you gotta go look at a Grand Design. So I met your partners.
Yeah, we are. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I wanted to thank you for the coffee we received yesterday. I love the Grand Design coffee. I tried to buy more of it from the refinery, and they said you had the patent on that. But it's really good. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
First, I wanted to ask about women in the executive suite or in management with Grand Design, and how women are incorporated in the design and the layout of the RVs, particularly on the interior. I think that is where women spend a lot of our time making it our home. And just wanted to know how women were involved in Grand Design.
I'll share with that with you, but I'm sure nobody would disagree. I would be smart that women are a big decision maker when it comes into buying an RV. It's a joint decision, but I've seen it 1,000 times. Harold will walk outside at an RV show, and Harold's tired of going up and down the steps. So Harold doesn't go up and down the steps. Did you hear? Okay, the question was, women, how do women play a role in Grand Design? Also, how do women play a role with Grand Design styling and design? So I've been to thousands of RV shows, and Harold doesn't want to go up and down the steps, so he just waits outside. And when Agnes goes, Harold, get up here and see this, you know that, hey, you might have a buyer here because Harold's got to walk up the stairs. And typically, Harold just wants the floor plan, right? Wants a new unit, but a lot of the time, I'd like to say most of the time, but a lot of the time, the woman makes a buying decision in an RV, and I've often told our salespeople, you sell an RV from inside the coach, not out. Out's important. It's got to be a good look. It's got to have a story to it. Really inside, you'll know if it really, floor plan IFL price typically is what sells an RV. So women in our organization, we've got, we're growing. We're not where we should be or where we need to be, but we're growing. We brought on Mary Minix. I think Mary is here as our Vice President of Human Resources. Super sharp lady. We've got Natalie as our Director of Marketing. You know Emily, managing her group. We brought on, I think, the sharpest interior designer in the industry, bar none, Michelle Blossler. I don't know if Michelle is here. Michelle, are you here? And she just does a phenomenal job at colors. And before Grand Design came on the scene, RV manufacturers had to have 3 colors. A neutral, a green, and maybe a blue, a shade of blue. But when we started designing product, we didn't look at the RV industry. I went right to the home designer. And it wasn't the $2, $3, $4 million homes. It was that the upper medium price homes. And I asked the designers, because we didn't have a designer when we started, I'd ask the designers, hey, what's hot, what's not, what colors are going out, what colors are coming in, the oranges and the reds were leaving, different countertops and flooring, and kind of a lighter, not gray, but gray brown maybe, warmer colors were coming in. And we designed not to what the competition was doing. We designed what people were actually buying today in their homes, and Michelle is bringing that along. So women have a great deal of influence within our company.
And Don, I'd like to add to that too, in the service support arena. We have some phenomenal females that are in major leadership roles. Cassie Guffey is our Director of Service Parts.
Yeah.
And bar none, there's nobody better in this industry than she is. She's a solid rock star. Katie Bernay heads
Katie
up
does your job,
customer
but,
service.
She does good.
Well, if you ask any of my employees, they'll tell you their number one responsibility is to make me look good. So as long as they fulfill that, they're doing quite well. But if you look at even our SRT program, Missy Kuhn, Missy's running our SRT program. Our parts advisors, 70% are female. Our regional servicemen, the people that talk technical, 50% female. We're fully on board, and I just love all of them. They're all superstars and rock stars. But you know, to Don's point, we always go for the best person. And it just happens to be that we have a lot of very talented females in our company, and we're just blessed to have them.
Yeah, thanks, Jerry.
John, over here.
Right here.
Okay.
Just got a quick question.
Yeah.
How can we get a copy of the opening day presentation theme song?
That was pretty good, wasn't it? Yeah. Natalie?
Great question. I will give you my contact information. I'll get it right to you.
It was uplifting, wasn't it?
Tom Groff, shout out, great job. He's our multimedia producer, and he did the entire thing. So, good job, Groff.
And that's hard to do. I mean, he took some shots at it. It took a lot of time. Yeah. What else?
I've got a really dumb question and then a serious one.
All right, Jerry.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Probably 100 duck-sized horses.
Well, thank you for indulging in my silliness. My serious question is, a lot of people...
That was it?
My age that have experienced this beautiful thing called work from anywhere. What is Grand Design doing to think about connectivity options in the rigs of the future, things like conduits or cellular prep or things like that, that allow the people not as technical as myself to be able to have that connectivity and that freedom?
You know what? And it should have been mentioned on the other question. What do we see the future? It's so much more of that. You know, the digital age is here. It's not coming. It's here. Connectivity. It's here. People want a boondock, but they don't want to lose connectivity, right? And curing customer pain points. So, what do we need to do? We need to grow our advanced technology team, right? So, an individual, wave your hand, that we brought on, Krishnan, is Jerry, would it hurt anyone's feelings if I said he was the smartest guy on our executive team?
Not at all, because you're right.
It's almost like fire to a caveman. You know, he's bringing a lot of technical advancements. He's working with the advanced technical group in solving customer pain points and doing some really crazy things that might not come tomorrow, but we're ahead of the pack when it comes to planning. Because you are right, it's here and it ain't going away. Yeah, good question. Aubrey.
Hi, thank you again to your team for how they've treated us. My question is, as customers, we have a long wish list from dealerships and manufacturers. But what is your wish list from us as customers, either do's or don'ts?
Well, always be nice.
Check.
Yeah. Feedback. We're starving for feedback. And sometimes the feedback is I had a meeting with the wagon masters and I mean, they were heard loud and clear, and there was such a dissatisfaction with dealers. And that's hard to hear because I know a lot of the dealers are, she's teasing me with her, a lot of the dealers do really care. And to lump them all into one basket and, they just don't care about service isn't true. It's not fair. Some dealers don't. And those are the dealers that we need to know about, and we need to, at some point in time, if we can't turn them, we need to distance ourselves from them, right? Because you're our mutual customer, and it takes both a dealership and a manufacturer to properly take care of a customer.
Did you label this before you turned it on? Did you label it before you turned it on?
Just good feedback.
How would we get that to you?
Natalie and Jerry, we have forums, we have blogs that we monitor. What's the best way to provide feedback?
I should have a direct feedback. It's called the Ask method.
Experiences with our product.
Should be on the site.
So the best way to provide feedback on your experience, we have a dedicated Facebook page for customer support and service.
That's
we
hilarious.
also have our website where you can contact us. Other than that, we're always monitoring Instagram, YouTube, our influencers.
How can we go?
Seriously, social media is their feedback one.
No, I'm not. All that stuff is good, and I'm 63. Like inside sales would be a good conduit.
Inside sales would be fantastic. We have cards here available to hand out. You can provide that information, but also inside sales number is on our website as well.
And you guys got papers there? Jerry McCarthy's personal cell phone.
There you go.
That's one of the things we want to hear, right? And I think sometimes it's too hard. You are always heard on social media, but you're not always responding.
Nope.
Does that make sense?
Seldom. It's not a good place for it.
I don't know who was first. Okay.
I'm Michael, and my better half and I sold everything we lived into about a year ago. MBS, 378 MBS. I still got 14 years before I'm going to be able to retire, so I'm working on the road. When is, and I appreciate the connectivity issue, totally agree with that, but when are you guys going to actually get an option for an office?
What? That's right. Give me the office, please.
Just a solitude, just a momentum. I think it should be all of our brands.
Awesome.
Product managers, who wants to take that one? All right, now this is Rob Brewer, by the way. Grand Design has 2 general managers, and the product managers report up to them. Rob is one of our general managers for momentum and solitude.
Yeah, thanks, Don. There's actually 2 different units with full built-in offices under development as we speak. We recognize the need.
I'm sorry, I just asked if this was an academy, because I have one too. I was listening though.
I'm sorry. That's always good. You all know what ADD is, right? Anyway, if you guys have seen in the display over here, the new 391 DL Solitude, we're looking at turning that back room, probably minus the bathroom, into a full home office. Also the 390 RK, we've seen a ton of people online, or on our Facebook pages, what have you, converting that door side slide into an office, and that's going to be an option as well. So, yeah, we fully understand it, we're totally listening, and we're working on it, so stay tuned.
Hey, all product managers work on that, because that is tough. Now, it'd be hard, I think, to do it in a 20-foot coach, because you'd be giving up a lot of living space. But space utilization, I think, is so important. Good question.
Yeah, product managers, get on it.
Hi, my name is from New York, and we have a 376TH. It's 2019, and absolutely love it. It's my favorite place to be. So, but I have one thing. Is it possible to make the handles round and smooth so that they're not quite as sharp and dangerous as the ones that are currently in the Momentum?
Well, how are you going to cut your meat?
Unfortunately, I'm meat.
Audrey, is that short?
Yeah.
All right. Lance, you don't have to comment, just fix it. Okay. We will fix that.
I know some of them are cold, but the Momentum is going up.
All right. Are you on it? Did you hear the comment? The handles on the Momentum are too sharp.
We'll definitely, yeah, we'll take a look at that.
What's all of it?
I have a Momentum 376TH, but the people here say Solitudes are also sharp. If you have small kids or dogs and they hit them, it takes a gash.
All right. For real, are you guys on that?
We're on it.
Solitude and Momentum.
We're on it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Donna, right
Dang, that's feedback.
someone just asked if it's possible to get replacement handles.
Whoops.
Say it again.
How you doing, Dylan?
I'm good.
Good. I'm Rick Dillon, and I have a lady addressed a serious issue earlier. Apparently you have the patent on the coffee. So if that is the case, why do you not have it on the website where we can buy it? And the second part of the question is when are you coming out with it in K-Cups?
You better try it.
They didn't necessarily say it was
Please have my seat.
by me. What I do is I take Dunkin' Donuts coffee bags and write G.
He probably does. Probably packaged from Dunkin' Donuts.
Hook you up with the source. I have no patent on coffee. I think they're messing with me.
It's on the website, though.
Do we have a great design coffee for real?
He doesn't even know about it. It's white labeled. White labeled from Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts has pretty good coffee.
I'll be real quick, Don. Howdy from Texas.
Howdy. What part?
Fort Worth.
My son Austin was named after Austin, Texas.
There you go.
I spent some time there. 3 to 5.
As one of the 50% first timers at the National Rally, I just want to say how wonderful this has been. To meet the team and get together and meet all the great people. So I don't really have a question, but an offer that from Texas, I brought up my tiki bar in Section K, and I'm inviting them over for a margarita.
Duly noted, Section K.
Perfect. I will show up.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to it.
As long as there's not, you know what a little beer is?
So you missed the little beers 2 nights ago, but we're going to have a good night. forward to it. Thanks, sir.
You guys want to hear the story?
Yeah.
They asked me to be the taste tester of little beers. Well, I quickly discovered there's no beer in little beers. And there's a whole line, and I want to do it justice, so I'm tasting all these little beers, these shots. And when everyone's so nice, then they're looking for feedback, and this is really good. It tastes a lot like the one I just had before. She said, no, I put almond. I said, no. So you'll have to try it again. So I tried it again, and I tried more, and tried more, and these things were starting to sneak up on me, and then I had a couple glasses of wine, and finally I decided, look, I need to go back to my rig, because this is not good. So I went back to my coach, true story, went into the refrigerator, got some snacks, I'm sitting on the sofa, and two people walked in. I said, hey, hi, want a drink? He said, yes. I said, well, I'm not sure I know what I have. And they said, well, you have Captain Morgan private stock, you have Tito's, you have a half a bottle of Fireball. And I said, well, how do you know that? You're in our coach.
Oh, man.
So I jumped up from their sofa. I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry. No, we've been trying to get your attention all day. You sit down. I was in that coach for 3 hours. Because I was hoping that story didn't get out. But it got out. And here's how I know. The next year, that year I announced I will never, ever, ever again be the judge in the little beer contest. And I told them what happened, people laughed, and so the very next year, they wanted me to be the judge in little beer. I said, no, there's no way there. No way. I told you what happened. Yeah, but look outside. Somebody had put neon 11 by 8 sheets of paper and a trail all the way from the big main building to my coach. So there was no way I could get lost. Yes, sir.
So with the reoccurring theme about dealer issues in customer service and support, not following protocol or procedure that would be on par with what Grand Design is all about, has the company ever considered just pulling product from local dealerships and creating their own dealerships in following suit with how, the principles that this company is built on? So totally bypassing all the problems that everybody has with existing dealerships.
Yeah, it's illegal in a lot of states. Texas, by the way, being one of them.
Oh, yeah.
And also,
that's another thing that has been brought up. Conversations. Yeah, reprimanding dealerships by pulling their dealership.
and again, saying, Harvey Technical Institute, saying, Harvey Technical Institute, Jerry said, told you, I sat on the board of that. That's all they're about, is recruiting and training techs, and attracting more techs. There's over 1,500 techs now in training just from that program. And a lot of it is dealer initiatives that dealers themselves say, hey, I've got to attract and I've got to keep my techs. I've got to train my techs. Can you help? That's what that whole initiative's about. And it's bringing a lot of techs to our industry. We just have to help educate dealers. Because to you, whether you buy a Grand Design or you buy SOB, you know, some other brand, product, a lot of it relies on a dealer, right? Your satisfaction relies on dealership. We just have to help educate the dealer. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to thank Chris from Texas, the great state of Texas. I'm a rehabilitated New Yorker, so go Bucks. But I fixed my camper, and I had a very serious issue with my camper. It was caused by water intrusion. I just want to bring it up to you. Have a talk with them, who knows what happened and how it's happened. Don't let that stuff go out of your factory. I understand there's about 320 campers a day. There's some critical things you need to inspect, and that's one of them should be. It's very dangerous. Unfortunately, it did turn very south for us. But it turned out well, and they made a grand design for life because of the service that I got. I also want to thank the people that you attract as customers that supported my wife while I was in the hospital the last few days. Thank you.
Oh, you're the gentleman. Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
Through stats, and I'm doing great.
Oh, wow. And that was just recent?
Yes, right here in Goshen.
Yeah, well, welcome back.
Don, over here.
Yeah.
Hi, Don. Kalyn Wright, South Carolina. I got a statement and a question. First off is Laverne and his crew, Jerry and their crew, 390 Arcade, unbelievable customer service. Unspoken, listening to what our needs were just unbelievable. Thank you, thank you, thank you, the entire Grand Design team. My question is this. How many 390 arcades are on the road? The other question is, I am going to be your partner in your cornhole challenge.
Yes! Wait a minute.
I am the home stretch homie champion here. Cover your back.
Where's that Tennessee dude? Metal, smell. All right, I got a partner.
I do have one more question.
Nope, partner. All right.
My other question is, you know, we have a dealer that we bought our Grand Design from that strictly sells only Grand Design. What do you do for those particular dealerships as far as training?
Oh, those are easy. And what makes that easy is, you want me to repeat it? All right, there are some dealerships that are exclusive Grand Design dealerships. What do we do special for that training? That's easy. And they're some of the best dealers to work with. What happens on a lot when a dealership handles, let's say 4 or 5 different brands, that salesperson or even service person within that dealership, there's no way in the world they can know and be experts at all of these various brands. I've seen it happen where a salesperson will go on a lot and they'll sell the Ottoman that comes underneath the bed and some of the other features that maybe a Solitude has. And then one of the couple wanders over to another unit and they look at another brand. Hey, but we like this feature on the Solitude. Do they have that? Well, yeah, they do. Well, but when they walk in, they don't. So they're embarrassed, and it's too hard to train. Those exclusive Grand Design dealers, they know the product inside and out. We train them on service, inside and out. There are dealerships that are not exclusive Grand Design, that the service department makes it very difficult on the sales department if they sell anything but a Grand Design. For real, because it takes less time to PDI typically our product. Jimmy, the salesperson, doesn't have to run and hide when Mr. and Mrs. Smith come back with their rigs. There's a marketable difference between, and more dealers, now that we're full line, we have all of the major segments handled. We are a very big part of those dealerships' businesses now and continue to grow.
Do you invite them out to your plant for specific training?
Yeah. In fact, Jerry, his training classes sell out every single year. And we also not just do it on the service side, we do it on the sales side as well.
Thank you, Don. We appreciate everything you do for us.
All right, partner. You can practice what we call. Yes.
All right, hi Don, Sean Laxton from Nevada.
What part of Nevada?
We just moved to Carterville, so South Freedom. Awesome area. Two questions. We ordered in 2020 January, so pre-COVID. We got the 375. Love it. We've been, knock on wood, great unit. But a couple things with it that we would love to see. One is there's a ton of storage in the 375 and a couple of the others, but there's not a lot of capacity, right? So is there any thoughts of going to the triple axle in those?
Rob, you still here?
I don't think he is, Don. I know on the 375 and a few others, it's a little bit of a challenge between double and triple axle because a lot of times your limiting factor is going to be your pickox rating. So if you notice on the bigger units, you're still limited to 21,000 pounds on your pin box. So even if you have 3 7Ks, your GWR is going to be 20,000. We usually back off a little bit from the max, but the limiting factor is the pin box. So we have looked at the triple axle option. Got to be careful with it on longer units, of course, and momentum folks that have triple axle. You know some of the challenges that come with having a triple axle, but it is something that we're looking at on a couple different floor plans right now.
Yeah, because it's a great unit, right? We got tons of space, but we're always going to bump up against our limit, especially if we ever go into full water, we're going to be over our limits very quickly.
Absolutely.
Right, so it's a challenge.
It is.
And the other thing is we're going in for an suspension next week. Is that something you guys are going to offer? I think at one time it was, but now we have to wait a year to get on the list and drive back out here to get into the suspension. So is that another thing that is going to be offered on the rigs?
I'll answer for Rob on this one. We had this discussion with the 390 owners yesterday because they brought it up. We are looking at a partnership with MoreRide. We haven't put all the details together on it yet. The challenge for us is, as the chassis comes into production, we have to have it on there when it enters the assembly line. It's not something that we have the capacity to do in station, what we call our chassis. Conversations about offering IS as an option in partnership with MoreRide, so customers don't have to wait till their unit's built, then get a hold of MoreRide, schedule. Because I've heard some customers tell me they're almost a year and a half out.
Yeah, we scheduled last year and they scheduled us for November and then moved us back to September, so they were, pretty far out.
And quite honestly, it's better to have it done up front before you load the frame than after the fact. Because y'all understand that all our frames have camber in them. It's camber built into it, and then the frame, when the weight of the box is installed. So I think there's some runway there and some real opportunity, and I know Rob is looking at it very closely. It's a great question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you next?
Kathy Jarrett from Arizona. Since it was mentioned how influential us women are in selecting these rigs, I have just a little suggestion. I noticed that many of them have all the same shower we have in our master. And it's a very nice shower, except for one thing. They have the two things in the corner to put your shampoo and soap and whatever. If they could put one more at the bottom, maybe about 12 inches up, for us older ladies who need somewhere to put our foot to wash and shave our
And
legs.
it's not just shoes. When I shave my legs, I need that as well.
I think it would really impress a lot of women if you could get whoever your vendor is to.
Hey, who's picking no? Who's subscribed from our companies? I like that idea. Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Don, over here. Here.
Hi, Don. I'm Deb Dinga. I'm here from Grimsby, Ontario, Canada. And I know we have some other Canadians here too. And I just want to say thank you for the warm welcome we've received here at the rally. This is our first rally. We've had a fantastic time and totally has exceeded our expectations completely, and we're so thrilled that we could be here. We had no expectation of being able to get any of our recalls taken care of, and those have been done, and we're on the road to having a better coach, and we're so thrilled. And I would just like to say that when you do your training for the dealerships, please don't leave Ontario out. Ontario needs training desperately. I won't go into details, but please don't leave Ontario out. We have so many people in Ontario that are, you know, Grand Design is their favorite, but we are desperate for reputable service. So, thank you.
Well, thank you for that, and we don't leave our Canadian neighbors behind. And on behalf of all of us, thank you for opening up your border. Did we have someone over here?
Yeah, I have a 2020 351M. I'm just talking about working remote office work and doing more of that now. Some of the things to think about in the future as they do these is tip down the office desk in the back, because we have to have them out to transport motorcycles. Now I gotta set up a table and set up chairs and all that. So if they're in back or in a wall, so you can add one, but right now, there's not enough support back there where you can put a foot down desk and they're working. I think that'll help a lot.
Does that need a cabinet, a small cabinet as well that flips down?
No, the ones that we use in some of our other settings they're mounted to the wall, they just tip down, so you have a workspace to work on.
And then outlet, you probably want outlet, various outlets there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that just helps, you know, right now I set up a table, I run for it, but they have the tip down option. It makes it much more convenient to have a quick thing to set up.
You guys have that? No. Well, with today's world, right? A lot of you have requested some type of desk or workplace in your coach. And really, it's a pretty neat idea. Just have I asked if there needed to be a cabinet attached, and he said no. Just a flip-down desktop with maybe some outlets behind it, which he's in a toy hauler, so it doesn't take up any space. I like that. That seems simple enough. You guys have that written out? Okay.
And then the other thing is that, you know, if Grand Design ever decide to get into the extended warranty business for the Grand Design units, I think most people trust you enough that we buy that. I don't trust the dealerships on anything, other than writing my check to take the unit. But if it was an extended warranty we could buy through Grand Design, where Grand Design service centers could do the work and fix it, that type of thing, I think many people would support that type of market. And your you know, with the reputation you're coming and support, your guys are phenomenal. I mean, they found stuff in my rig that they didn't know was wrong and fix it every year. I think that's an area where if you have an opportunity, it would be greatly to expand. Thank you.
Mike, thank you.
We've been RVing for 28 years. We've been married. We started about 2017 when we had full-time doing this. We started with that. And we ended up at Grand Design because of all the great reviews we saw for the support from the manufacturer outside of the dealerships. And when you look at all the other manufacturers out there, those great things don't exist. So we started looking and tried to pin down exactly what would work for us. And we ended up selling last July, we bought a 2018 Solitude 374 T8.
Solitude 374
toy hauler.
Okay, yeah.
I like to bring it to people, but we have a very rare beast. Is there any way to find out how many of the 370 GH solid junkies were actually made?
There's a way. I don't have it with me. There is a way. Yeah. I think all three of them might be here.
Oh, that's cute. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
I'm very jealous. Where do you go? Or where are you gonna go?
Well, we have been all over the western U.S. We're out of Seattle, born and raised there. We really can't get much east of Colorado, so it's retirement. The goal is to take the next 10 years and see the rest of the country.
We're all ready to leave.